Coming up in this fully narrated video with air traffic control, you're joining me on one of the world's most iconic approaches, and you'll learn how I ensured this spectacular view was possible on my flight to LaGuardia. But first, a quick recap on how I got here. In March, I took Spirit Airlines from Orlando to LaGuardia. I hadn't flown Spirit since their days of the MD-80, and I was so happy to fly on their A320. Then in April, under a threat of liquidation, I flew Spirit once again on the same route on their A321. Check out both of those videos. Today's video provides a detailed look at a spectacular approach to LaGuardia on the April flight. The April flight video was filmed just 2 weeks before Spirit shut down, and in that video, I talk about flying an airline in poor financial shape and creating a backup plan just in case it shut down the day of my flight. Make sure you check that one out, but the approach to LaGuardia warrants its own video, so that's what this one is all about. Before we get into the approach at LaGuardia, as we take off in Orlando, I want to say a few words about Spirit Airlines. Over the last few days, I can't stop thinking about the staff at Spirit who lost their jobs. The very people who took me on this journey to New York City were let go on May 2nd, 2026. Sure, at the time I made this video, we all saw it coming. Bankruptcy, liquidation, and bailout were words all over media coverage of the airline at the end of April. And finally, the day came where the airline that started operations 43 years ago came to an end in a highly publicized finale. My thoughts and best wishes go out to every single employee of Spirit. The industry has a hole in it now, and the yellow birds are grounded. I hope to see them all back in the sky one day, and believe it or not, it was my plan in 2026 to fly Spirit a lot. With difficulties reaching higher levels of status on the carrier I fly most, Delta, I turned to Spirit twice for the low fare and hope to book more. That won't happen. What brings all the airlines together under an umbrella of equality is the fact that they all share the same airspace together. So moving forward, I'm going to resume doing what I do best, narrating a video from an air traffic perspective with air traffic control. Stay tuned to the end. You won't want to miss the approach, but let's start off with a bit of the en route phase of this flight. It was a grand night for flying, and the wonderful weather afforded a great view of Jacksonville, Florida, as we proceeded north to New York. We passed just east of the downtown area before I spotted the terminal at JAX Airport. The next big city was the city with southern charm, Savannah, Georgia. After that, we made some zigzag turns in the sky to fit into the flow of arrivals, flying the proud arrival to LaGuardia, which is the arrival procedure for flights approaching from the south like us. As we got closer to LaGuardia, I was able to see Washington, D.C., and out there is Baltimore, Maryland. As we descended on the proud arrival over New Jersey, I always look out for the most populous city in the state of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. The nation's 9th largest metropolitan area, it's serviced by the Philadelphia International Airport, which is clearly visible as we descend toward New York in the TRACON's airspace. In a moment, we'll contact New York Approach Control using the call sign Spirit Wings 1453. Oh, I'm going to miss that call sign. We'll check in at 12,700 feet, descending on the proud arrival, and the controller will welcome us to the party of arriving flights.
Currently 1453, 12,700, descending to approach to with Quebec.
Spirit 1453, altimeter 3001 at LaGuardia, welcome.
31.
Okay, so we'll be landing at runway 4 today, which is the reason why I have a seat on the left-hand side of the plane. Of course, the left side provided some fantastic urban views along the way, but it's the approach to LaGuardia that will put Manhattan right outside the left side windows of this plane. I checked the wind forecast for the time of my arrival, and the winds were predicted to be suitable for runway 4 or runway 31, both of which have better views on the left side. Basically, the heading that we're flying now is nearly the heading that we'll fly all the way down to the runway. The proud arrival has a general northeast heading, and at 44 degrees, the runway itself heads northeast, so we won't notice any significant turns. For now, we simply follow the arrival on a general northeast heading and await clearances from the approach controller that includes speed and altitude, and most importantly, at the end, clearance to fly the approach to runway 4. Today's approach will be the RNAV Yankee approach to runway 4, which begins south of Brooklyn on a 44-degree heading, which points directly to runway 4. Now, it's one controller this evening working all flights all the way down to this approach. Sometimes 2 controllers are used, but let's listen in to the single controller talk to some planes ahead of us. Here, the controller will tell a Brickyard plane over Brooklyn to call the tower and slow down. United will be told to go direct VRAS, which is on the approach course to runway 4 itself. We'll actually get clearance to that point soon as well. Frontier, which is coming in from the west, will get a speed and heading clearance, and American will be told to slow down.
Brickyard 5609, contact tower 187. Have a good night.
Over tower, Brickyard 5609, good night.
And before you leave, Brickyard 5609, start slow on 160 knots. Take care.
Alright, we're slow on 160, good night.
United 396, direct to Varaz, join the RNAV Yankee runway 4 approach course.
Direct to Varaz, join the RNAV Yankee runway 4, United 396.
Frontier 3092, reduce speed to 200, fly heading 130.
200, 130 on the head in Frontier Flight 3092.
American 2213, reduce speed to 200.
200 knots, American 2230.
Now, there are a lot of planes doing what we're doing, so we're being told to slow down a bit.
Spirit 1453, reduce speed to 200.
200 knots during 1453.
The controller is working all flights on the arrival procedure that we're on, as well as those on the Milton arrival, which is for flights coming in from the west over New Jersey. He needs to merge them at a point south of Brooklyn, so things like speed reductions early on are necessary. There's even a third flow of traffic for flights arriving from the north that are going southbound on the Hudson River. But since we're slowing down, we're going to get clearance to a point right on the approach course, about 6 miles south of Brooklyn. This means we no longer have to follow the Proud arrival and the remaining waypoints, and we can head to Vraz, and from there, we'll follow the waypoints on the actual runway's approach via a 44-degree heading. We're also going to get cleared down to 8,000 feet.
Spirit 1453, maintain 8,000, direct Varaz, join the RNAV Yankee runway 4 approach course.
8,000 direct for join the RNAV Yankee runway 4, Spirit 1453.
This is great. I didn't even notice a turn to Vraz. We're nearly lined up with their landing runway now. Easy for us, but not easy for the controller, who is now going to tell a United flight from the west to turn in slow. Southwest and Delta flights will check in. Another Delta flight will request lower and be cleared for the approach. Frontier will get a radar vector. United will get lower. Frontier will go to Vraz. Southwest will go to the tower. Another Southwest and Frontier flight will check in. United will get a radar vector, while another United flight will get lower.
2329, fighting 160, reduce speed to 200.
Heading 160, speed 200, United 2329.
Delta 2115, 10,000, 250 knots, back.
2115, altimeter 3001, good evening.
31, good evening.
New York Delta 2404, passing 1,600 on the Proud with Quebec.
2404, New York approach, maintain 8,000, altimeter 3001.
8,000, 3001, Delta 2404.
Delta 1703, request lower.
Delta 1703, 2 from Varaz, cross Varaz out above 3, clear to RNAV Yankee 4 approach.
Cross Varaz above 3, clear on Yankee runway 4, Delta 1703.
Frontier 3092, turn left heading 090.
That's 090, Frontier Flight 3092.
United 2329, maintain 9,000.
Maintain 9,000, United 2329.
Frontier 3092, direct Varaz and join the approach course. United already doing that.
Roger, direct Varaz, join the final approach course, Frontier Flight 3092.
Southwest 3039, contact tower 187, good night.
Tower 187, Southwest 3039.
First Southwest 638, 10,250 knots, Quebec.
Southwest 648, altimeter 3001, welcome Romeo's turn.
Eagle approaching Frontier 3280, 12.5, descending via the Proud 2. We'll get Romeo.
Corner standby. Yeah, 2329, fighting 120.
Heading 120, United 2329.
Yeah, 396, maintain 3,000.
3,000, United 396.
And who was it that checked in before?
Frontier 3288 on the Proud 2 out of 11.9. We're getting Romeo now.
Frontier 3288, altimeter 3001, welcome.
31.
Now, our pilot has a question.
Upper Spirit Wings 1453, are we clear down to 3,000 for the RNAV, or do you want us to stay at 8?
No, stay at 8 for now. I'll have an approach clearance to you and lower in about 10 miles.
Roger that.
Thank you.
Our pilot wants to get in, and he wants to know if he can descend to 3,000 feet. Maybe he thinks we're too high, but the controller must keep us at this altitude because it safely keeps us on the arrival procedure. As we get closer to New York City, departures off of Newark that take off to the south often have to pass under us from left to right as part of their climb outs, so we must stay high. The controller said that he will have an approach clearance for us in 10 miles. Now, we're going to land on runway 4, which means that we'll be lower in the New York City area earlier than if we were to land on runway 22, which is runway 4 in the opposite direction, because landing on runway 22 would mean that we would have to pass by the airport and circle around to land, so we would be at a slightly higher altitude than what we would be once we're over Brooklyn, because the runway 22 approach course will be longer. But for landing on runway 4, we'll be at just 3,000 feet while approaching Brooklyn. So we do know that we will get lower clearance earlier because runway 4 is straight in. And before we reach Brooklyn, we'll be flying in a corridor of airspace that has light traffic. It's over the water. Once we pass north of Monmouth County, New Jersey, we'll be over the water of lower New York Bay. So there are no airports around us, and with just water below us, we can go down to 3,000 feet at that point. There could be VFR traffic below us around the shoreline, but that would not be a factor. The closest airport to us while over lower New York Bay is JFK, but JFK flights are kept in their own airspace to our right and do not present a conflict at all. Even if JFK is using the 13s or 31s, those flights make turns to stay near JFK at all times. It's time for the controller to issue new commands to us. It's not the approach clearance yet, but the controller is going to slow us down even further to 180 knots. You can hear in the background how busy he is, and all these planes are headed to runway 4, so we need to slow down. We'll also get clearance down to 7,000 feet.
Spirit 1453, maintain 180 knots and 7,000.
180 knots and 7,000 for 1453.
It's getting a little cloudy down there, so let's move forward to the next transmission, which is the approach clearance 7 miles from Vraz, which is 19 miles southwest of LaGuardia.
Spirit 1453, you're 7 from Vraz, cross Vraz at above 3, cleared RNAV Yankee runway 4 approach.
Cross Raz at or above 3,000, clear the RNAV Yankee runway 4 through 1453.
Okay, we're clear for the approach, so we descend to 3,000 feet to cross Vraz at 3,000. Vraz is 17.7 miles southwest of LaGuardia, over the water, just east of Great Kills Harbor in Staten Island. Let's move forward to the next transmission before the handoff to the tower.
Spirit 1453, hold 180 knots till 5 mile final.
180 to 5 mile final through 1453.
Okay, so we keep 180 knots until 5 miles out. That's by the fix Dennis, which is between Bed-Stuy and Williamsburg in Brooklyn. Let's move forward to the point where the clouds go away and we've entered Brooklyn. All right, we're in real time now as we fly over southern Brooklyn, and we can even begin to see lower Manhattan on the right side of the screen there. In a moment, you'll know exactly why I chose to see it on the left side of this plane. We've already passed the fix Vraz and the next one Benji, and are approaching a fix called Rahel, which is located at the intersection of Bedford Avenue and Madison Street in Bed-Stuy. We're descending to cross Rahel at 1,800 feet. I'm going to be focusing in on Manhattan, but let's not forget our path. After Rahel, we go 1 mile and cross Dennis at 1,700 feet. Then we fly over Warren and Woodside at 640 feet. Warren is at the intersection of 61st Street and Woodside Avenue. Again, there are no turns. The runway is right in front of us and is in sight by our pilots. It's now time for the controller, who's been talking to us since just past Philadelphia, to hand us off to the local controller inside the top floor of the control tower at LaGuardia Airport.
Spirit 1453, contact tower 187.
187, CS 1453.
Good night.
The controller in the tower is looking us on the radar as well as seeing us visually out the window. Let's check in with the tower as we take in this beautiful view of lower Manhattan.
Tower, hello, Spirit 1453, RNAV Yankee, runway 4.
Spirit 1452, LaGuardia Tower, good evening, 1120 at 9er, runway 4, number 25, Airbus 320, continue.
Continuing, Spirit 1453.
We're told to continue. The traffic that we're following is 2 miles out, so the tower issues a plane takeoff clearance on runway 13 before that plane lands.
Spirit 921, traffic 2 miles final for runway 4, wind 120 at 9er, runway 13, clear for takeoff.
13, clear takeoff, south 2921.
Now another departure is told to line up on runway 13.
Number 5397, tower, traffic line runway 4, and 13 line up and wing, traffic will be crossing midfield.
13 line up and wing.
As we take in this beautiful view of Midtown, the plane behind us checks in for landing.
LaGuardia Tower, Delta 2404 is with you, RNAV runway 4.
Delta 404, LaGuardia Tower, number 3, continue.
Continue, Delta 2404.
Now it's a quick landing clearance to the plane in front of us.
Frontier 3092, runway 4, clear to land, traffic holding position 13.
4, clear to land, Frontier Flight 3092.
Now the tower is going to talk to a plane that landed long on runway 4 and needs to cross runway 13 on the way back to the airline terminals.
American 2213, keep the speed up and cross 13 at Romeo, left top of Bravo, ground 27, good night.
Cross 13 Romeo, left top of ground, American 2213.
We're going to wind up landing long as well, and we'll have to cross runway 13 twice, but for now we can take in this view. I had originally booked my seat on the right side of the plane in case we flew up the Hudson for runway 22. I'm so glad I changed it to this side of the plane. The view needs no explanation. Now, in the tower, the controller hands off the departing flight to departure control, and our pilot inquires about landing clearance.
So, San Antonio 1, contact departure 120 plane, good day.
Roger, good day, South 22.
Spirit Wing 1453, we clear to land.
Spirit 1453, runway 4, clear to land, traffic holding in position, runway 13.
4, clear to land, Spirit Wing 1453.
Okay, we are cleared to land on runway 4, and the tower said that traffic will hold in position on runway 13. So, as we land on runway 4, once we pass the intersection of runway 13, we should see a plane holding in position at the beginning of the runway. Once we pass the intersection, the tower will issue that plane takeoff clearance. It'll be an Endeavor Air CRJ 900. Now, we're on Spirit Airlines today, so if we were able to stop before the intersection of runway 13, we would simply turn left on a high-speed taxiway and turn left again and taxi to the gate at the Marine Air Terminal. This is very efficient. We will land long today, however, and we'll go through the intersection, and we'll have to turn right to vacate the runway since there are no taxiways on the left side after runway 13. Once we turn right, we'll need to turn right again, and when cleared to do so, we'll cross runway 13, but we still have to cross runway 4 again once the tower tells us to do so we can get to the side that we belong on to get to the Marine Air Terminal. As we touch down, you'll be able to see the Marine Air Terminal off the left. That's our final destination. Unfortunately, this is May 2026, and since Spirit Airlines shut down, the terminal is now vacant, except for Modern Aviation, the sole fixed-based operator at the airport. Let's land on runway 4. We can see the Endeavor Air CRJ 900 in position on runway 13. Since we're about to cross the intersection, the tower will issue a takeoff clearance, and we'll be told to take the next right on Uniform and Romeo and hold short of runway 13 on the way back.
And there 5396, traffic come on, half off runway 4, runway 13, clear for takeoff.
No, 13, clear for takeoff there.
Spirit 1453, Uniform Romeo, hold short of runway 13, remain this frequency, traffic come out behind you.
Romeo, this frequency, and short of runway 4, Spirit Wing 1453.
Hold short of runway 13.
Short of 13, excuse me, Spirit Wing 1453.
As we turn around, the Endeavor Air taking off on runway 13 is passing by Romeo, so the tower now clears us across runway 13 at Romeo, and we can join Bravo and hold short of Echo. As she's talking, we're able to see the CRJ 900 taking off on runway 13, which parallels the water.
Spirit 1453, cross 13 at Romeo, and join Bravo, short of Echo.
Cross 13 at Romeo, join Bravo, short of Echo, Spirit Wing 1453.
As we cross runway 13 again, we can see terminals B and C, the two large and new terminals here at LaGuardia, but Spirit operated out of the Marine Air Terminal on the other side of runway 4, so the controller is positioning us for the crossing. She has us taking taxiway Bravo, which Romeo leads to, straight ahead, and hold short of taxiway Echo. Taxiway Echo is halfway down runway 4. The Marine Air Terminal is actually further down on the other side of runway 4, so if we cross runway 4 and Echo, we'd have to turn left. But it turns out that the controller wants us to go past Echo to Charlie Yankee, and we'll hold short of runway 4 for crossing there.
Spirit 1453, continue Bravo to Charlie Yankee, hold short of runway 4, remain this frequency.
Bravo to Charlie Yankee, short of runway 4 with you, Spirit Wing 1453.
So we'll continue down to Charlie Yankee, and once we're clear across runway 4, the Marine Air Terminal will be straight ahead of us. By the way, have you noticed that it's the same controller who cleared us to land that's giving us taxi instructions? That's because it's late at night, and the runway, or tower position in the tower, is combined with the ground control position as traffic is light. So instead of having a second person work the taxiways, she's doing it all. Recently, this concept of having one controller work two positions has been covered in the media after the incident here at LaGuardia where a truck hit an Air Canada Jazz flight. Speaking of that incident, this video was filmed not too long after that, and the disabled aircraft had been moved into a hangar off to our left, so we're going to see it with its nose and engines covered. Unfortunately, that plane, as well as the plane that I'm on now, are no longer flying. The Air Canada jet was a total loss, and this plane is now in storage at Phoenix's Goodyear Airport as Spirit no longer exists. It's been a rough few months for aviation. I'm getting ready to complete my final trip on Spirit. I had plans on flying Spirit many times in 2026 due to the low airfare and the good schedule, but that won't happen. We're now waiting for the tower to have us cross runway 4 at Charlie Yankee. The crossing is about to happen. With traffic on a 3-mile final, which we'll see as we cross the runway, the tower clears us across on Charlie Yankee, and we can go straight ahead to the ramp at the Marine Air Terminal.
Spirit 1453, cross runway 4 Charlie Yankee to the ramp, this frequency traffic 3 out.
Cross runway 4 Charlie Yankee with you, Spirit 1453.